The clang of steel, the thunder of hooves. These sounds were the heartbeat of medieval warfare, resonating through the fields and castles of Europe. These sounds echo through the ages, conjuring images of knights in shining armor, their lances gleaming in the sunlight as they rode into battle. Medieval Europe was a world of castles and chivalry, where knighthood was more than just warfare. It was a prestigious status, a symbol of bravery and nobility. It was a way of life, encompassing not only the battlefield, but also the daily interactions and responsibilities of a knight. Knights pledged allegiance to their lords, swore oaths on sacred relics, and dedicated their lives to honor and duty. These oaths were not taken lightly. They were binding commitments that defined a knight's existence. They were bound by a code of chivalry, emphasizing courage, loyalty, and protection of the weak. This code dictated their actions and decisions, guiding them in both war and peace.
The values of knighthood were deeply intertwined with religious faith. Knights were expected to be devout Christians, upholding the moral and spiritual values of the church. Knights often embarked on pilgrimages, seeking spiritual guidance and demonstrating their piety. These journeys were acts of devotion, reflecting their commitment to their faith. They saw themselves as warriors of God, defending Christendom against its enemies. The Crusades were a significant part of this identity, as knights traveled to distant lands to fight for their beliefs. Tournaments and jousts tested their skills and bravery, while courtly love added an element of romance and refinement to their lives. These events were not only displays of martial prowess, but also social gatherings that reinforced the bonds of knighthood.
But knighthood was not without its darker side. The reality of medieval warfare was harsh and unforgiving. Warfare was brutal, and the lives of commoners were often caught in the crossfire. Villages were burned, and innocent lives were lost in the chaos of battle. Still, the ideals of knighthood, however imperfectly realized, held a powerful sway over the medieval imagination. Knights were seen as the embodiment of noble virtues, striving to uphold justice and protect the innocent. They represented a yearning for order in a chaotic world, for justice and protection in a time of violence and uncertainty. The legacy of knighthood continues to inspire, reminding us of the enduring human desire for honor, bravery, and righteousness.
As Europeans ventured across the ocean to the New World, they carried their values and traditions with them. These were not just physical belongings, but also the intangible aspects of their culture, such as their beliefs, customs, and societal structures. The journey was long and arduous, but the promise of a new beginning kept their spirits high. The early settlers of Pennsylvania, many of whom came from backgrounds steeped in European history and culture, brought with them the ideals of knighthood. These ideals were deeply ingrained in their psyche, influencing their actions and decisions. The principles of honor, duty, and service to others were not left behind in the Old World. They were carried across the Atlantic and found new life in the American wilderness.
While the challenges of carving out a life in the wilderness were paramount, these ideals did not disappear. The harsh conditions and constant threat of danger only served to reinforce the importance of these values. The settlers had to rely on each other for survival, and the principles of knighthood provided a framework for this cooperation. Instead, they found new expressions in the social and civic life of the colonies. Town meetings and community gatherings became the new arenas where these ideals were practiced. The settlers' commitment to justice, fairness, and the common good was evident in their efforts to build a just and equitable society. The concept of community, central to the feudal system of medieval Europe, resonated deeply with settlers facing the hardships of frontier life. The sense of belonging and mutual responsibility that characterized medieval villages was mirrored in the close-knit communities of the New World. The settlers understood that their survival depended on their ability to work together and support each other. Mutual support and cooperation were essential for survival. The settlers organized themselves into cooperative groups, sharing resources and labor to build homes, plant crops, and protect their settlements. This spirit of cooperation was a direct reflection of the medieval ideals they had brought with them. The virtues of courage, self-reliance, and a strong work ethic, all associated with the knightly ideal, were highly valued in the New World. These qualities were not just admired, they were necessary for survival. The settlers faced numerous challenges, from harsh weather to hostile encounters, and their ability to persevere in the face of adversity was a testament to their strength and determination.
Furthermore, the strong religious convictions of many early settlers, particularly groups like the Quakers, reinforced the moral underpinnings of knighthood. Their faith provided a moral compass, guiding their actions and decisions. The Quakers, with their emphasis on pacifism, integrity, and social justice, embodied many of the ethical principles of chivalry. While they may not have explicitly identified with the knightly orders of old, their emphasis on pacifism, integrity, and social justice echoed the ethical core of chivalry. Their commitment to these values helped to shape the social and moral fabric of the early American colonies. The settlers' dedication to these principles was evident in their interactions with each other and with the indigenous peoples they encountered. The seeds of medieval ideals, planted in the fertile ground of the New World, began to take root and grow, albeit in new and unexpected forms. These ideals adapted to the unique challenges and opportunities of the American frontier, evolving into a distinct set of values that would come to define the emerging American identity. The legacy of these medieval ideals can still be seen in the values and principles that continue to shape American society today. By the 19th century, as America matured and prospered, the romantic allure of knighthood experienced a resurgence. This period saw a nation in transition, moving from its agrarian roots to an industrial powerhouse, and with it came a longing for the ideals of chivalry and honor that knighthood represented. Amidst the rise of industrialization and urbanization, a yearning for tradition, for the camaraderie and shared purpose of a bygone era, led to the formation of fraternal organizations. These groups sought to provide a sense of belonging and identity in a rapidly changing world, where the old ways of life were being replaced by new, often impersonal industrial realities.
Among these were the Knights of the Golden Eagle, a secret society founded in Baltimore in 1873, which quickly spread to Pennsylvania. The organization grew rapidly, attracting members who were drawn to its ideals and the promise of a supportive brotherhood. Inspired by the legend of the Roman eagle, a symbol of strength and vigilance, the Knights of the Golden Eagle adopted elaborate rituals, regalia, and a hierarchical structure reminiscent of medieval knightly orders. These elements were designed to instill a sense of pride and purpose among its members, connecting them to a storied past. Their meetings, shrouded in secrecy, were said to involve symbolic ceremonies and oaths of loyalty. These rituals were not just for show. They were meant to reinforce the values of the organization and to create a strong bond among the members.
However, unlike their medieval namesakes, the Knights of the Golden Eagle were not warriors in the literal sense. They did not don armor or engage in physical combat, but their mission was no less noble. Their battles were fought in the realm of social and civic life. They worked tirelessly to improve their communities, advocating for social reforms and providing support to those in need. They championed causes such as temperance, patriotism, and mutual aid. These were not just abstract ideals. The Knights of the Golden Eagle took concrete actions to promote these values, organizing events and campaigns to make a real difference in their communities. Their ranks were filled with working-class men, drawn to the organization's emphasis on brotherhood, moral uprightness, and community involvement. For many, the Knights of the Golden Eagle provided a sense of purpose and belonging that was hard to find in the rapidly industrializing world of the 19th century. Another fraternal order that captured the spirit of knighthood in 19th century Pennsylvania was the Knights of Pythias. Founded in Washington, D.C. in 1864, the organization drew inspiration from the ancient Greek legend of Damon and Pythias, a tale of unwavering friendship and self-sacrifice.
Like the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Knights of Pythias emphasized moral principles, fraternal bonds, and charitable works. The order's motto, friendship, charity, and benevolence, encapsulated its core values. Members were encouraged to embody these virtues in their daily lives, supporting one another in times of need and contributing to the betterment of their communities.
The Knights of Pythias established lodges throughout Pennsylvania, providing a space for members to socialize, conduct rituals, and engage in charitable endeavors. They were particularly active in providing assistance to widows and orphans, reflecting the chivalric ideal of protecting the vulnerable. Through their commitment to philanthropy and community service, the Knights of Pythias carved out a unique space for themselves in Pennsylvania's social fabric.